go to university, 'cause I don't think they offer a fuckwit degree. And any other course seems a little bit forced, so maybe I'll keep running from a life full of money, 'cause I'm having more fun when I'm living off nothing. Everything they say about living for today is spinning round inside my damaged brain. And so now I bum around, I'm settling down for another cheap round and thinking maybe I've been running around saying figure it out, but no one here can make me. It's such a shame to waste away a foolish man wearing darkened shades to hide the bags under my eyes. And so now I bum around, I'm settling down for another cheap round and thinking maybe now I bum around, just another cheap round on the come down, thinking maybe. Oh. So now I bum around, I'm settling down for another cheap round and thinking maybe now I'm around, it's just another cheap round on the come down, thinking maybe.
Brae from Dear Seattle.
How you doing?
Welcome to The Right Note.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's our pleasure. So that line, that lyric on maybe, I don't want to go to university because I don't think they offer a fuckwit degree. Did you actually check?
No. I've never been asked that, actually.
You should do some fact checking.
Yeah, true. That's a good point, actually. Maybe there is. If there are any universities that do offer that, please send us a message. Because, yeah, I never even considered that. But, yeah, it's obviously just a metaphorical thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Are you being a bit harsh on yourself there?
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty typical Dear Seattle to be a bit self-deprecating and a bit harsh on yourself. But I don't know. I think it was mainly just a period in my life where I was kind of just down in the dumps. I didn't want to do anything. I was just kind of lethargic in everything that I did, and I was a bit apathetic towards, getting a job or getting a degree or anything like that. Everyone else was off working full-time with my mates and things like that. And I'd just sit at home and basically do nothing until the weekend. Right. And then they'd all be finished. I'd be like, oh, sweet, things to do. It's like, why could I not have just worked those 5 days as well? And so, yeah, this whole song was basically just around that whole period.
And what was the answer when you asked yourself that question?
I think it was, to be honest, like a lot of it was to do with just Dear Seattle stuff, like picking up again, like writing this album, doing the recording of it, the mixing process and all that kind of stuff. It was just like all came together pretty much just after that. And I was like, oh, I am actually busy and I do have things to do now.
Right.
Still broke.
Well, that's one of the things, like the album, Don't Let Go.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the themes on the record, isn't it? That fact that there is this upside to being in the band, which is like fantastic creatively. But there's also like, I don't know if downside's the right word, but there is another side to being in a band.
Yeah, definitely.
Like how would you describe those two sides?
Well, it's like, you're right. It's pretty much the whole overarching theme of the record really is the fact that every experience that you have, what I've come to realize now, will have positives and negatives associated with it. And I guess your outlook on life is based on whether you focus on the positives, focus on the negatives. Whatever you give energy to is kind of how you're going to feel as a result of everything that happens to you. And so I think it's just the kind of thing where, for example, Dear Seattle is a perfect example of that, where the EP kind of took off, got a bit of traction, started touring all the time and being away from home, being away from loved ones, all that kind of stuff. And you just realize, like, shit, this is a really good thing that's happened to me and it's all I've ever wanted. But now there's so many hardships that are coming with it. And like, you start to see how everything's kind of got that dichotomy to it. But
Right.
I think as well, on the flip side of that, like what the last track on the record, I Keep Dreaming, is it's all based around my dad, who I lost when I was 7.
Yeah.
And that is the exact same thing as well. It's like, possibly, I always say this to everyone, it's honestly the best and worst thing that's ever happened to me. And so it's
Right.
just like, of course, losing a parent,
Sure.
terrible. But like, as I've grown up and learned from it and stuff like that, he was an amazing person as well. So it's just like, I've started to learn, you know, we had to move back from the States and start school back over here in Australia. I had to learn how to make friends like right off the get-go when I was really young. Things like that, just like learning, even just having like a really strong female figure in my life, my mum, just, you know, taught me how to appreciate women entirely and like how strong they can be and everything like that. So it's just like, it really just shows you so many good things that can come out of something that is honestly like terrible.
Yeah.
So,
And so you said you had to move back to Australia. So you were living in the States when your father passed away?
Yeah. So we were living there for his work.
Right.
And basically what happened was we were there on his green card, which is like the visa. So it was the only reason we were allowed in the country. And we basically got given 2 weeks after he passed away to sell our house, move back to Australia, get the hell out.
Because you weren't dealing with
Yeah.
enough.
Well, yeah, because the green card was only under his
Yeah,
name.
but-
And so Mum was effectively not working there. So effectively, again, we were illegal immigrants, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, it was pretty full on. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is exactly correct or not, but I'm pretty sure it was like a week until Mum qualified for getting a green card as well. And they were like, no, we're not waiving the period. So sold the house, got up, went back home, moved back to Australia. And luckily we still had our house back here and everything as well. And yeah, it was pretty much just like, all right, sweet, start again, see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And funnily enough, actually, we flew back from America the day before 9/11 as well.
Really?
So yeah.
Wow.
So we got back to Australia after these flights and everything, and it was like our message machine was full.
Yeah.
Just full of friends being like, are you home safe? Are you okay? We flicked on the news and we were just like, I actually can't believe we were just there. So
Wow, there was a lot going on.
I know.
Damn.
Pretty full on year,
Yeah.
2001.
Yeah. And I mean, to put that, I guess, that, you know, going through losing your father and then putting that into a song like I Keep Dreaming, and it's a beautiful song as well. Was it a difficult process for you to do that?
Honestly, no. It was one of the ones that just kind of came out and just flooded out. I was, like, as the lyrics say, I was watching a Pink Floyd documentary, and it was called Wish You Were Here, and it was all about the making of that record. And it might have just been the fact that I just kept hearing the words Wish You Were Here over and over again in that documentary, but it really just hit me, and I was just like, far out. Like, he's basically the reason I'm so into music. He was big into, you know, your Midnight Oils, your NXS, like all the like big rock bands that are of extremely high quality, especially Australian ones. And it just kind of like gave me a love for rock music. And so I think I just had this overwhelming sense of like, man, I just wish you were here to see all this and see everything that's going on, because I know you would love it, like, to death. And so, yeah, I think I just started writing it, and like the first lyric is, I'm watching a Pink Floyd documentary, thinking how we're meant to be together, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it just goes on from there, and I just spewed, and it, pretty much, I think I wrote it in like an hour or two, like that day, just when it happened.
Does that song mean anything particular to your family?
Well, Mum's listened to it, and she bawled her eyes out. I played it once acoustically at the Cambridge in Newcastle, and my brother was there, and it was the first time he heard it, and he got up on stage and was crying and gave me a big hug. So I think they definitely appreciate it emotionally, and I think, you know, they went through the exact same thing I did, so they know.
Yeah.
And I think it was just the kind of thing where what I wrote was exactly how I felt, and I'm sure they feel exactly the same way, and so it was probably just something they could grab onto and be like, far out, like, you're right. I'm glad to know that you are going through this as well, because it's such a tough thing to do.
Yeah, but it's an amazing thing to be able to do, to actually put that into a song.
Yeah, totally.
To summon those
It's nice to
feelings.
have it as well, just as like a a packaged thing and it's all there. And like, for me, everything that I write is emotionally charged and it's all based on my own experiences and things as well. So I think just putting it into a song, it's kind of nice. Like, okay, I don't have to think about that for a while at least. You know, it kind of gets it all out, vents it, and then you're like, I love this song. It means so much to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to other people who are potentially going through the same thing as well. Yeah. And yeah, it's done. You can just kind of move on and
totally.
And
the front cover of Don't Let Go is a bedroom.
Yeah.
And am I right in thinking that's the room where you wrote quite a lot of the album?
Yeah, not particularly that room. Some was written in there, but it's just basically the room adjacent to my bedroom in the house. And funnily enough, it was just because Jeremy, it was kind of like a spare room. Yeah. Jeremy, the bass player, he just woke up one morning, and the photo is actually taken on an iPhone. Yeah. Originally, yeah. So he just woke up one morning and was like, man, that lighting is nice. So took a photo, and then, we all looked at it, we were like, that is so real, so honest and genuine about what our lives are at the moment. Yeah. So just did a couple touch-ups, just like coloring stuff like that, so it doesn't look like an iPhone photo. And that's just basically exactly where it came from.
And so when you say that that's what our lives were like, what were they like at that point?
Well, if you look at the album cover, it's a mattress on the floor, empty beer bottles everywhere, and just like a mess. And like, it's not glamorous. Let's put it that way. It's not the high life. But you know, we're all just kind of mucking around, having a good time. It's not too serious at the moment, and it's like, you know, who knows what's going to happen from now. But really, it was just kind of like, this is just the period in our lives. It's the place where I was living. It was just so indicative of everything that this album was. Yeah. So, I think we just thought it was perfect little one to drop in.
Yeah, and so now that the album will be out by the time this airs, does it feel like things have got a lot more serious now than they were at the time that that photo was taken? Yeah,
definitely. I think just the feeling of like 2 years worth of work going into an album in the lead up, you just like, you don't realize what it's going to be like in this week now, where it's all about to come to a head and you're about to put it out and people can just tear it to shreds if they want or absolutely love it. And so I think you just kind of get stuck in that mindset of like, oh, it's never going to come out, it's ages away. And then when it finally creeps up, you're just kind of like, all right, let's kick this off, let's get it going. Yeah. Get things started again, I guess.
So how are you feeling? Is it just exactly as you just described?
Excitedly nervous, I would say. It's like, I don't know, it's honestly just my heart on wax, effectively, if you've got the vinyl. But to put something like that out to people and let them criticize and that kind of thing, I think is also a very daunting thing. But as well, I feel like that's why people associate and relate with the lyrics a lot, because it really is just a 23-year-old dude writing about what he's experienced and how he looks at the world. And, you know, there's no shortage of those. Yeah, so
there's an honesty to that.
Yeah, totally.
And so the other song, which we're hearing from you, Daytime TV. Yeah. What, I mean, it's the intro to that, certainly on the recorded version with that almost yobby sort of gang vocal is such and it instantly catches you. Well, what's the song about? Like, where did the idea for that sort of beginning come from?
Yeah, well, actually, the idea for the beginning of that, I think it was in the studio. We actually just decided, let's do that. Let's cut out all the guitars from the start and just have it like 50 people in a pub, basically. I think when we were putting the reverb on it and stuff, we were like, make it sound like a pub. And they're like, all right, we'll try.
Pub setting.
And so, yeah, exactly. And the song itself, well, actually, sorry, just quickly, that little bit is, I think it came about because of Offspring. I'm not sure what song it was, but I think Josh
like
put it out there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's, I'm not sure exactly which one it was. Okay. I think it was Josh's idea. Right. And we tried it and we were like, sweet, I like it, sounds good. So we left it. But the song itself, like, even though, like, as you might have heard just in like the acoustic version, it's a romantic song. It's a love song, effectively. It's about my now girlfriend, Caitlin, and she didn't know that I was in love with her for about 6 months before we started dating. Yeah. And it was just that feeling of like, how do I go about telling this person? Because we were best friends, basically, before we even started dating as well. So yeah, I was just trying to think, how the hell am I supposed to tell her without completely either ruining it or making it, you know, work out exactly how I had hoped. So yeah, my brain was just kind of going through a lot of different processes of, you know, what is she like? What are the guys she's dated in the past? Like, do I need to be more like that? Do I need to be more like this? Should I just like, you know, try and be more romantic to her, less?
Yeah, right.
And so I was just kind of stuck in this whole entire like, I don't know who I'm supposed to be and who she's going to like. And I kind of just got over it. And I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm just going to be entirely myself. And if she likes it, then she likes it. And if not, then it wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I did exactly that, and it literally
She
clicked
liked it.
as soon as she realized. Yeah. But yeah, it was really just like, oh shit, like this girl actually likes me for who I am.
Yeah, nice.
And we were best friends already, so it was really just like perfect from the get-go,
So
Like,
was the song written before that moment, or was the song written
before.
after? Oh, so
Yeah.
you were still unsure.
yeah, it was during that process.
Okay.
So the whole thing is like, it deals with like anxiety of, do I tell you how I feel? Do I not? A lot of things about like there's plays on words of like the days 1, 2, 3 and that kind of thing. It's talking about like the rule of, how like you go on a date with someone that you don't text them for 3 days, like that kind of thing. Just a bit like comical, bit tongue in cheek. And so that's basically
So you'll have to write the sequel now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. What's the problem now? It's like, I don't know how to write a love song. Like, actually, that one worked because I was like, oh, well, I can make fun of myself in the process.
Yeah. Album number 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Figure it out.
Exactly.
All right, Brae. Thanks once again.
Thank you very much for having me. Cheers.
And you're like cheap wine to my Channel 9. 60 minutes never felt so damn right, 'cause I know the rules of the game are working against me. Days 1, 2, 3, you're staring at me as I stare at my phone and start pondering how bad it would be to just be me. But I know that I should suffer, 'cause Wiki always saying that to be a good lover I have to understand my lover's boundaries. If you knew me, it would be easier to see that I'm a product of my anxiety. So I'll count 2, 3 and remember to breathe as I stare into space and start conjuring some words to make you love me. But that's all that I can muster, 'cause Dr. Phil is saying that to be a good lover I have to show this girl that I have empathy. Suffer, 'cause Dr. Phil is saying that to be a good lover I have to understand my lover's boundaries, my lover's boundaries.